Hi there, let me take you through my methodical makeup routine. This is a new setup for me, so forgive the first time filming jitters. With the bare face that's been toned, moisturized, SPF and primed, I'll start with the eyes. Here I'm using the EUMERA eyelash curler, trying to get my straight and stubborn lashes to hold a curl. I'll be working incrementally from the roots to the tips. Moving on to eye primer, using a flat synthetic brush, I'll apply a light layer, since this color is a little too pink and dusty on me. As for eyeshadow, I'll be using these two shades from the palette. I'm carving out just above my crease with the darker shadow using a small round tip brush, concentrating the pigment just above my iris to add depth and shadow. And with a clean fluffy brush, I'll soften the harsh edges. I'll deposit the lighter shade with a packing brush just until my crease. For eyeliner, I'll grab an angled brush to lightly fill in my top lash line. Then lightly wing it out and upwards to complement my eye shape. You can see the subtle difference it makes. I'll highlight my bottom waterline with a cream pencil that's the shade of my waterline but with a shimmery finish. Next, when it comes to mascara, dainty wands are my personal preference. I'll comb through the top lashes, then coat the bottom lashes with the tip of my wand before combing them through. Moving on to complexion, I'll mix these two hydrating foundations today. The Fenty foundation matches my yellow overtone, while the Kojendo hints to my olive undertones. Holding a small stippling brush with light to medium pressure allows me to slowly work the product in small areas. Starting from the cheeks, I'm going to buff the most product there where I need the most coverage, as that's where I have the most redness, discoloration, and pigmentation. I'm using circular motions to work the product into the skin. Then I'll spread it out to the T-zone before feathering it out to the rest of my face and neck, taking my time to build it up in thin layers. And I'll use a damp sponge to pick up what's left on my palette and gently layer it on. Next, I'm going to spot conceal with a very small brush to pinpoint specific areas. I had some extra, so I put it under my eyes for brightening. Using a small flat top brush, I'm going to blend out the edges and soften them lightly. As you can tell, I'm really taking my time to buff, blend, and soften every product. Moving on to contour, I'll swipe it on the meatier part of my palm and pick it up lightly with a flat, elongated, oval-shaped brush. Looking straight into the mirror, I'm going to carve out the natural hollows of my cheeks with light to medium pressure on the brush. Working back and forth, packing more closer to the ear and gently swiping it down to just about the center of the cheek for a smooth gradient. I'll angle my brush to use the clean edge to soften any harshness. Now I've got to do the same on the other side, making sure they're similarly even in placement and opacity. With whatever's left, I'm going to bring it up to my temples first, before sculpting the jawline, buffing right under the bone. Today I felt like putting extra on the neck and more under the chin. I'm cleaning up what's left on my hand with the side of my sponge, then tapping it on top to soften. As for blush, honestly I'm not the biggest blush fan since I flush easily and I don't typically pair my contour with blush. It's a bit too much. But today's an exception, so with a small and dry sponge I'm going to dot it on the high points of my cheeks. Then with my original sponge, foundation side down, I'm going to blend the two together. To highlight, I'm brushing it onto the high points of my cheeks, brow bone, tip of my nose, and the upper bridge before moving on to the lips. Here I'm using a soft matte formula close to my lip shade and applying it with a fluffy eyeshadow brush. As a final touch, I'll be dusting on some powder with a generous powder brush to mattify for mask wearing. If you made it to the end, thank you so much for watching, and until next time.